He turned a corner, then another, quickening his pace. The streets were crowded now, and he had to slow to avoid the huge groups of men out looking for a good time. The Nigerian towns grabbed at him, but he was in football mode. It would have taken 4 of them to impede his steady pace. He cut into a narrow alley, dodging a middle-aged man who had passed out right in the middle of the sidewalk, jacket open, tie askew. Then he looked up and realized that the building on the other side looked familiar, and rooms filled him, and suddenly he knew where he was. He knew why he was there. He stepped up to the third building on his right and pulled open the door. He saw the red velvet walls and thick carpet, and a nervous energy moved through him. He tried not to look into the mirror on his left. He knew that if he saw himself, he'd chicken out, return to his hotel, lock the door, and sleep until Monday morning. The same matronly woman was sitting at the desk in front of the swinging doors. She looked up, surprised, and then noted his manicured fingers together. A constant look across her heavily made-up eyes. Malcolm wasn't supposed to be there. He was a guardian, a foreigner, and though maybe she recognized him from before without Carney and the rest, he wasn't welcome. He was a stranger in a place where there wasn't supposed to be any stranger. She rose halfway, bowing slightly. "Sorry, no tonight, Japanese only. You come back." Malcolm shook his hand, moving a few steps toward her. He tried to make himself look as smooth, as harmless as possible, bowing slightly himself. "Sumimasen, I am so sorry. I am looking for Sai. I am a friend of yours." It was a lie, but he was embodied now, so close to her. He felt electric inside. The woman pursed her lips, her eyes narrowed slightly, then she turned and hurried through the double doors. Malcolm could hear the clink of glasses coming from inside, the laughter of men and women, the sounds of drinking games and practice flirtation. Through the scent of perfume in the air was familiar. The Sakura Hostess Bar was nothing like the place he had just left Carney and Bill. This place was an exotic thrill, a place that mixed erotic thoughts with pure business. This was a place you took clients to put them at ease so that them dream beautiful dreams that might never come true. The other place, the Soul Plant, was not erotic, it was carnal, a flesh market, a place where women serviced men who were willing and able to pay. It was underside of culture, where men were dominant and women internally submissive. Not a brothel in the Western meaning of the word, because in a brothel the woman had some level of control. In a brothel a woman ran the show. They offered themselves for a price. In Soul Plan the women didn't offer. The men simply took. There was no dreaming going on. Malcolm tensed as the double door swung open again. The mama-san came first, talking rapidly and angrily in Japanese while pointing at Malcolm. Malcolm strained to see over her shoulder. Saya was as beautiful as he remembered. Her hair was held tightly behind her head by crisscrossing ivory chopsticks. Her royal blue gown had gone open one button, and the neck revealing a tiny triangle of porcelain skin. Sweeping depths of blue makeup at the edge of her almond knees made her look almost cat-like. She stepped past the mama-san, then stopped seeing Malcolm. Her eyes widened for a brief second, then turned back to Almond. She quickly rushed close to him, lowering her voice at all he could hear. "You're not supposed to be here. This is not a gaijin night." Malcolm couldn't control his grin. She remembered him. It had been nearly 11 months. He assumed that few Americans frequent the hostess club, but it still was something. "I'm sorry. I know. I moved here to talk. I want to see you." She took her head. The mama-san was watching her from the desk. Her face a stern. Saya shook her head again. "You go now. This is not good time." Malcolm could feel her smile fading. His hands hung limply at his side. He tried to look at her eyes, but she kept looking away. He reached for her hands, then stopped himself. Finally, he nodded. Репетитор по скайпу, Smart Teacher 197.